was supposed to be a climate change rally. Michigan State University students, inspired by 350.org, were holding a rally for the clean energy future they'd been promised.
Imagine when I found out that it is the largest on-campus coal plant in the nation. The goal is to get the whole world moving beyond fossil fuels.
Who wants to do a 350 sign on the steps of
But it turned out Michigan State had a form of green energy in mind the students did not support.
The university contracted with an energy contracting company. They put together like a modeling tool. First 2 or 3 months that the steering committee was using this modeling tool, it didn't even contain data for wind or solar. So there was...
Adam told me they were planning on substituting coal burning with biomass burning.
But the permit that is currently being considered by the state is a permit for 24,000 tons of biomass per year. And the plan is to do that in all four boilers. Unfortunately, the steering committee considers biomass renewable at the moment, which we're not happy with.
Michigan State wasn't the only university to go green.
I'm happy to announce that Carolina will be going beyond coal in the next decade. Now, as we begin to wean ourselves on coal, we're about to try another alternative energy source, biomass.
And who is here to help the University of North Carolina switch from burning coal to burning trees?
So it is a great pleasure to be here today to celebrate the remarkable step that the university is taking, to say we're going to do our part.
A remarkable step indeed. We're to do our part by getting out of bed with coal companies and into bed with logging companies? Where did the idea of colleges going green by burning trees come from anyway? A little college called Middlebury in the heart of Vermont.
Welcome to the celebration of the opening of Middlebury's new biomass gasification system. It's now my great pleasure to introduce this afternoon's speaker, Bill McKibben.
What powers a learning community? And as of this afternoon, the easy answer to that is wood chips. It's incredibly beautiful to stand over there and see that big bunker full of wood chips. You can put any kind of wood in, oak, willow, whatever you want. Pretty much anything that burns, we can toss in there if we can chip it down to the right size. And there are very few similar cases any place in this country of that kind of change over that scale. But it shows it could happen anywhere, and it should happen anywhere. In fact, it must happen everywhere.
It must happen everywhere. And now it's time for a nature break, enjoying our sustainably managed Michigan forests.
If you walk through here and you look, there's virtually nothing growing. A little bit of grass occasionally.
And it seemed that biomass plants indeed were suddenly everywhere. Like this one in Cadillac, Michigan. In Detroit, an incinerator that burned garbage was considered green.
The Detroit incinerator is known to emit horrible smells and pollutants that neighbors say make them feel sick and put their health at risk.
It's a stink. It's a horrendous stink.
A proposed biofuel plant for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan would consume trees from tens of thousands of square miles.
In order to create 40 million gallons of ethanol, they were going to have to use up over 1 million tons of green wood. We pointed out that they were going to be using more natural gas than they were going to be creating ethanol to displace the natural gas. If you continue to do this, you're going to be fertilizing the forest.
Fertilizing the forest with fossil fuels.
Fossil fuel-based fertilizer.
Made from natural gas. Yeah. Then came a ballot proposal backed by Bill McKibben and nearly every major environmental group, requiring Michigan to get 25% of its electricity from renewable sources by the year 2025.
This year, Michigan voters have a choice. Keep burning dirty coal and oil, or move Michigan to clean, renewable energy like wind and solar. Vote yes on Proposal 3.
Surprisingly, Proposal 3, also known as 25 by 25, was the brainchild of an organization that was 100% biofuels and biomass.
allowing America's farms, ranches, and forest lands to be active participants in contributing to America's energy future.
These are the biomass and biofuel plants across the U.S. How did this happen? And it wasn't just the USA, it was all around the world. Wood chips, which is just a euphemism for trees, are being exported to Europe from America, British Columbia, Brazil, and Indonesia, wherever they can get them from. Biomass, especially when you add in biofuels, is by far the largest portion of green energy around the world, even in Germany, source of the solar miracle. But maybe I was missing something. Maybe I had it all wrong. I decided to ask people protesting fossil fuels how they felt about biomass and biofuels as green energy. Did you say we don't need to do biofuels, food, and forest for energy?
No, definitely not. Of course not. Of course not.
Burning biomass, any kind of combustion is something we just need to move away from.
The more trees we have, the better. A lot of that didn't grow overnight. If we cut it down, we don't know the impact of that.
You're here as an oak tree, fight a chainsaw, that wouldn't be saving the planet.
No, it's a painful way to go. I can tell you that right now.
It'll take you a while to regrow.
Oh yeah. It wouldn't be me, it would be like an offspring, you know?
With so many people doing it on such a massive scale, all of a sudden at once, like, that's pretty serious.
No, I think we should not be burning trees.
No. Why would we cut down trees?
We shouldn't replace one terrible way of getting energy with another terrible way of getting energy. Because it's one thing to
Clearly,
all of the water.
most citizens are opposed to biomass and biofuels. But what about environmental leaders? At times, they have promoted biomass, but other times, they sound like they are against biomass. Like this Sierra Club policy, we are deeply concerned about the implications of wood to energy for native forests. Or this statement signed on by 75 environmental groups, burning forests for energy will destroy one of our best defenses against climate change. But then again, their language leaves loopholes that enable biomass. The NRDC says you must use the right types of biomass. The Dogwood Alliance says maybe small biomass plants are okay. And the Sierra Club flat out states biomass can be sustainable. Which side are they really on? I thought for sure with the camera rolling, environmental leaders would speak for the trees.
Where's the science? Where's the science? No.
We're here to tell a story about what the forests of this state, of our Commonwealth, mean to us.
Does your organization have any stance on that?
I'm not sure I would say we support it as much as we can wrap our heads around it. We've almost made a peace with the timber industry.
I'm just curious, what's your group's stance on using forests for biomass?
Biomass is renewable, biomass is sustainable.
And I'm with Clean Water Action. We don't really have a stand on it. If the director of the Sierra Club was here, she'd be able to talk your ear off about it.
I'm the director for the Sierra Club in Pennsylvania.
Does the Sierra Club support or not support biomass?
So great.
I'm not totally prepared to talk about our policy on biomass today. Our position is somewhat nuanced, so I just want to be, careful not to.
So you're with 350?
I am.
Does 350 have a position on biomass? Because I'm kind of actually...
I can't really speak for 350.
Do you personally have an opinion about whether we should be burning trees for green energy?
No, I don't have an opinion on that. I like a fire.
One of my biggest concerns as an environmentalist is that we're starting to burn trees. There are tree-burning power plants. Are you aware of the problems with biomass or biofuels?
Yeah, I'm not as aware of that as I could be or should be.
Jeff Gibbs, working on a documentary in Michigan, where I'm from. There's large plants that burn trees for energy, and pretty much whole trees chipped up. Do you have a thought about whether that should be part of green energy or not?
Well, the great thing about green energy is you don't have to pick a favorite.
Jeff Gibbs.
Oh, hello.
My biggest concern is that in Germany, for instance, they're moving towards solar and wind, but 60% of their actual energy is coming from biomass. 60% of what's considered out against any burning of trees
All right, well, go ahead
for
and do it.
clean energy, would you?
Although I confess I stoke my wood stove almost every night of the winter, so I'm not the right
But
person to ask.
designating green energy for power plants.
I don't know. It's not what today's about. We're on the...
But if we're burning trees instead of fossil fuels...
From Taiwan.
Oh, good.
And we're wondering that what role do you want to play in this market?
I think the biomass question is a non-starter. I found only one environmental leader willing to reject biomass and biofuels.
So we are talking of the old oil economy trying to maintain itself now through another raw material, the green planet. The only reason corn and soya is being planted for biofuel in this country is the subsidies make it profitable. I think the big crisis of our times is our minds have been manipulated to give power to illusions. We shifted to measuring growth, not in terms of how life is enriched, but in terms of how life is destroyed.
Her honesty was refreshing. But as for the rest of them, I wondered, what are they hiding? And why are they hiding it? Is it their ignorance? Or is it something else? What if they themselves had become misguided? What if they've made some kind of deal they shouldn't have made and are leading us all off the cliff?